Hey everybody, welcome back here to my channel and today to the final part of the Jurassic World Dark Ride build where I'm doing my version of this month's monthly challenge build, which is the dueling powered coasters which were built by Mr. Unit. And basically your task is to download the map and then build your own theme, submit it to me, and then basically there is a winner and some runners up and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, it's your choice what theme you want to do, and I went with the Jurassic World theme this month. And if you've been following this so far, you would have seen some of the other parts of the build. And basically today I'm just filling in all those gaps and also going to be doing those scenes for the Dark Ride, which are the bits I've been most worried about, I must say. But before I move on to those scenes and other little bits and bobs here and there, I'm actually doing the Rangers kind of food outlet area. So basically this area is based on this picture which I'm going to put on the screen right now. This is my reference photo and that's from Jurassic World Evolution, the game. And I just thought the Rangers base area would be a really nice transition between what I've already built and the front of the map, which is like the station, you've got the enclosure, the entrance to the ride, and then also to the back of the map where we have what I did last week, which is like the helicopter pad, the bumper cars, and it's just this area in between. And I just thought, what could I do? I don't want to like do like similar buildings to what I've already done. It'd be cool to do something different within the same umbrella of Jurassic World. So, you know, as I was searching around, digging on the internet, I did think, I did find this kind of the reference photo that I showed you from the game, and I thought that would be perfect for this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This building here is going to be like a food outlet takeaway kind of place where you can pop in, grab some food, and then there's going to be some seating areas out the back. So that's the idea. I'm going to try and make this all muddy and have parked cars and shipping containers and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, just make it really cool. And also in the reference photo there's like a watchtower. And I've already done like a watchtower on the enclosure, but I thought it'd be cool to do a bigger watchtower, design it a little bit different, make it match the one in the reference photo a bit more. It's got a different style, and that would be really cool to put in the Rangers area and actually use that as well as a coaster support to support the two tracks. So that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. And then also I've got these areas where the track's quite low to the floor where guests can't go, so I need to figure out how to make that so that guests aren't getting too close to the track, but the path work and everything still flows around, etc. But yeah, so now I've got that basic kind of building down. I'm just going to kind of go in and add some fencing and stuff, and I'm going to start playing around with the path covers, making it look a bit more muddy, etc., and kind of just figuring out where everything's going to go. Freedom 2K, of course, is being like a big help with this, especially with like you just saw there, kind of moving around those shipping containers, putting them at a slightly different angle so that everything looks a little bit more organic and not so gridded. And then going in with the Astrotron method of using the burial mound, I've just colored that into like a nice kind of muddy, but like a light muddy color, and I've just, or beigey sandy color even, and I'm just going to place that around the corners and stuff, make it look a little bit less you know, organized. And that's also really cool to add around for any transition areas that look a bit jarring, like where the different paths meet or something. It's a really good trick if you're looking for a way to like blend paths together. Just chuck down some of those sandy mounds, and then yeah, that just makes it look a little bit more flowy into the different path areas. You'll see what I mean because I do something very similar later on. Now I'm just going ahead and adding in all those nice little details that you find on the roofs of buildings, you know, the AC and the cooling vents and the antennae and all that kind of stuff. So just putting those on top, it makes such a difference to buildings, and it literally takes like 2 or 3 minutes to do it. So yeah, added in some CCTV cameras there as well. I thought that was a nice little touch. The only thing that I did, which I'm not sure about, is I added these two like corrugated iron sliding gates on the front of the building, and it is a food outlet, so they would be open, but I couldn't figure out how to have them open because they are a triggered gate, so they are closed, but when a guest walks on the path in front of them, they do open. But I didn't want to have it just open, I wanted to keep it closed and have that look. So that's the only thing I'm not really sure about. But the back side, I've done like a sliding door instead, and I've have it open with like some canopies and stuff, so that the guests can kind of come in from both sides. But it works, so it's fine, but I'm just not really 100% sure about it. Now I'm doing that watchtower that I just spoke about, so I'm just using the support beams from the supports pack to get the kind of basic structure down, and then I'm just going to, yeah, basically very similar to what I did on the last watchtower. This one is slightly bigger and slightly taller, but it works out really cool as well as like a coaster support. So that was kind of like a a last minute thought that I did that I didn't really plan to do, but I'm glad I did it. It worked out really well. So just adding a little platform around there. I've tilted the walls on the top as well, just to give it that look that the walls and that are just slightly leaning outwards. Adding in some windows, and then yeah, basically this is real basic building actually. I just kind of made it look a bit interesting. We're just adding in some like windows and fences and sticking out little pieces of walls and things. I'm going to add a roof on top of that. I'm going to add a ladder up the side as well, and then that'll be kind of basically done. I think I did it off camera, I'm not sure, but I think I went ahead and added some little lights and things around the outside of the railings just to make it look a bit better at nighttime, because I've done lighting throughout the whole thing for the nighttime mode, which I don't think I filmed because I don't really like filming doing lighting, because I'm not really sure what I'm doing and it's all trial and error. But the tower, for some reason, when at nighttime was just really dark, so I added some lights on the top of it, did some spotlights and stuff, and it made it look way better. So yeah, we've got this kind of like path entrance coming in from the bottom there, which comes around the tower, but I'm not really sure about that either, but I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to close this whole area off with like a big wall and do some like fencing and stuff, so it is like a separate area. I just need to figure out which areas guests can go into and which areas are going to be like planters and fenced off. So now I'm doing these big walls. These walls are actually from the Path Covers and More mod, and I really like these. They're really industrial looking and they come in very, very handy sometimes. So I'm basically just using 3D2K there to get like a slightly weird angle coming across, which I think makes it look a little bit better. And then this floor texture cover is from the Path Textures mod, and it's a little bit muddy looking. I think it looks perfect for what I'm going for, so I'm just gonna put that in there. And then basically you just got to figure out how to like join it up. And as I said, I'm going to use the burial mound to kind of create those nice transitions between the path textures, because as you can see, that looks just a bit jarring. Actually, I think I might delete that in the end. I'm not really sure how I do it, but we'll get there on the footage in a second. Oh, and today's episode is a bit longer than normal just because I'm actually going away for a few days, so I won't have time to do like another part. And also there wasn't really like enough footage for me to do 2 more parts, so I'd rather have just done like a slightly longer final part of this build. So that's why it's a little bit longer than normal, because you know I like to keep my videos about 10-11 minutes long, and then I think it's just like a nice healthy watch time and I don't get, you know, stuck with what to say, etc. But yeah, it's a little bit longer than normal, so sorry if you're used to my short video format. But yeah, so right now I'm going in now and adding in some like tire tracks using a slightly different color from the burial mound, and I think that works out really well as well. And then we've got this nice area here in the middle which is green, which is where the track comes down quite low, so I'm gonna fill that up with some like path covers which are going to be like green colored, so that will kind of hide any like awkward transitions and paths that are underneath. And then I'm going to fill all that in with some nice foliage, some trees where the trees might fit, and yeah, it just makes it look a little bit neater, and you can see that everything's definitely got more of like a better structure to it. You can definitely see where the exit paths are, where other paths kind of go to other areas. It's not confusing to look at. Yeah, I did change that. Okay, I thought I might have. I took out the muddy paths on that side and just replaced it with the concrete pathing. Adding in some vans and things. I did actually want to do these vans custom and actually have them like the ones in the film, but I just ran out of time, to be honest. So I've had to kind of go in and use the pre-made cars that are in like a mod set or whatever. And yeah, maybe it's a detail there that I've missed out on. I don't think it matters too much, but it would have been cool to do my own cars. So I'm just adding in now all the rails and things for the top of the walls, which make them look way better. And then yeah, I'm thinking of doing like in the reference photo, it's got like stadium style lighting. So I think I'm going to do something like that as well. There are some really cool big stadium lights in one of the lights mods. I think they'd be really cool to use. I'm just going to put those in at some point. Like I said, I do all the lighting off camera for this build. So you'll see those in the final shots that I've got at the end of this video. Because as always, I've done some screenshots for you to look at, because obviously it's nice to see what I've done without the time lapse. Again, using these really cool grill pieces, which I really, really like. And I've basically been using those for like all the big like sliding fences and for the enclosures and stuff for this build. And they've come in really, really handy. I like the style of them. So I've been using those for the sliding gates here on the actual like Rangers area. Just finishing up some of those fencings and stuff. But yeah, this turned out really, really cool. I'm really happy with it. It's definitely what I had in mind. I would like to have made it a little bit bigger and had like the second building that's in that reference photo, but what I did works out perfect for the space that I had. I do need to actually do the supports and everything for the track because, you know, I don't like those in-game supports at all. So I'm actually going to use like iron beams and do all those. But again, I do all the supporting off camera because I find watching custom supporting, or even to like show you custom supporting, to be really tedious and boring. And I just don't think it's something that anyone needs to watch. If you want me specifically to do like a custom supporting video, let me know, because I can maybe look into doing that if it's something that you're interested in and that you want to see, because I know some people don't really know how to do custom supports or where they should put them, etc. I did do a brief tutorial on how to do like basic supports a while back, and that is on my channel. If you want to go and look for that, then you'll find it. But yeah, the supports, if you want me to do a new tutorial on that, then let me know. So right now, I'm actually going to start doing the scenes for the coaster that you can see in through the roof and see the scenes where the coaster passes. And the first one is going to be this room, which is going to be like a cold room. I actually spoke to Dan Ambley over on Discord, and we had a little chat about what scenes and that to do, and he's a bit of a Jurassic Park god when it comes to this game and building a really cool Jurassic World and park things. And he was like, how about like a cold room where the eggs are stored? And I thought that'd be really cool to do. So this is room, I'm gonna basically make it nice and blue and have the glass, and then I'm gonna fill it all with fog so it looks like it's cold. And then I've got the raptors smashing through there, they're breaking and wrecking this whole area. So that's the idea for this one. And then I've actually got this like raised up area on the other side. Basically how I got these like the walls and that there is I actually saved the rooms from the actual map as a blueprint, and then I put them into like a new sandbox, and then I started doing the scenes. I just find that way sometimes way easier to work with, where you don't have the rest of the map to distract you and you just have the bit that I'm focused on. So that's something I do quite often. So I've done that today as well. So that's the first scene, and that's how I know how to get all the pieces to fit in perfectly. Then what I'll do is I'll save all of this here as a blueprint, and then I'll actually go back into the map and then transfer it in, and then I'll start on the other scene. So I'm just adding in, you know, the typical boxes and crates and all the little lights and stuff. So now I'm just saving all that as a blueprint. I'm going to save that, exit that map, and then I'm going to go back into the actual map and then place it in. And there we go, it fits nice and snug. And all I have to do now is just kind of tidy up some of the walls and add extra poles and things and just make it look a little bit neater. But the whole basic idea is in there. I'm not going to do all of that today on camera because you kind of see the basics of what I've done. But yeah, it works out really well. I do go and add some trigger effects in there as well, like flashing lights and fog and steam and stuff. So when the train comes through, there is a bit more animation. And then back to the sandbox. This is the second scene. This is like a big glass tank full of green liquid where they are making an artificial T-Rex or something. Basically, I typed in Jurassic World, Jurassic Park scenes on Google, and it came up with some images, and I was just inspired by those. And there was this one picture like in a lab, and there was like a T-Rex in this big green glass tube, and I was like, oh, I could do something like that. So I'm using the dinosaur mod, which has some really cool dinosaurs, and the T-Rex there looks perfect. I've just kind of poked him halfway through the wall there, and now I'm just going to try and make the inside look like green liquid, which was quite difficult. I put the green waterfall at the back, got the green glass on the front, and I'm going to put some green spotlights inside as well. And then I actually found some like bubble like animation textures, so I actually go ahead and put those in there as well, but I didn't do that till later on in the build. And then yeah, just need to figure out now how the rest of the walls and things are going to go, and then that's basically going to be the second scene. So we have the T-Rex scene, and then one of the other scenes that I already did, which was off camera unfortunately, because I was really unsure at the time what I was doing. And it's a room where there's basically boxes and stuff, and they've been pushed over and the eggs have fallen out. There's a dinosaur in a cage trying to escape, and the pipes are broken and the steam's coming out. And that's the most basic scene out of all the scenes because that was the first one I did. But once I got into it, I really like started finding like a bit of a flow, and yeah, I was really happy that I actually tackled this because as you know, because I've said already, like especially in the first part of this build, why I wanted to do this is because I'm not very good at doing dark rides and making up scenes and stuff. So it was really good to give it a go, to like dive in and tackle it. And if I'm honest, I think these two scenes turned out quite well. I quite like them. I didn't make it easy for myself because I made them on these round parts, so I had to make sure the scene fitted into the middle of this round part of track. But it turned out quite good. I'm really happy with it, and yeah, I like it. So basically this is going to be the same. I'm going to like finish off this little scene as well, save that as a blueprint again, and then move this over into the map, place it into the scene. I had a problem with this one. I did something that was not in, it kind of went over the boundary somewhat where, but I didn't know where. So when I tried to put the blueprint into the map, it didn't fit. So I had to come back to the sandbox and like delete half of it, transfer half of it over into the map. But I'm not going to show you that today because that's well boring. So I'm just going to show you basically me putting in the whole thing. But yeah, so I'm putting in these nice little squared textured walls as well, which I think kind of fit the style quite well. Got those black and yellow stripy walls as well in this one, which I think look good. Lots of pipes always go well if you're not sure. As you know, I wasn't sure here, so I just added in lots of big pipes. I think they work out quite well. But yeah, this scene actually is really cool. Again, I've got lots of green lighting in there, so when the train comes through with trigger effects and stuff, it's gonna have a bit of animation, lots of green in there, so that's really cool. The other scene that I did off camera is red, so I've got all like the red lighting in there. This scene is all the green lighting, and then the other scene has all the blue lighting because it's cold. So I kind of got all these different colors, so I think that works out quite nice as well. So each scene is a little bit different. So this scene is nearly done now. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. I've added in some wires and cables and that kind of stuff. Trying to just add some more like textures and details in. So I'm putting some pipes across there. I think they look quite cool. Now I'm heading over back into the actual map, and I'm going to place that blueprint down into the space that I left myself with. And that works out really cool. I like it. I'm going to add some like walkways around the edges and stuff around the top. I'm going to do all that off camera, but there's the basic idea of the scene. So that's all the scenes done, so I'm really happy with those. And now the last thing to do really, I just wanted to add one more little theming feature, and I wanted to do a gyrosphere from the Jurassic World. As you know from the first film, they got the gyrosphere ride, and then in the second film, they go off the edge of the cliff in one. And so I thought it'd be quite nice to add one in and put it as a piece of theming around the front of the map. So this actually was really simple to do. I just used a glass sphere and then some of these rings, which are perfect. They're from the Future and Space mod. And then just using shapes and some chairs and different little pieces and poles, I just did all the little details on the inside. I've put down like a piece of like path color and everything there with some foliage, just so I can give myself an idea of how it's going to look when I save this as a blueprint and transfer it over into the map. So I'm just adding in like a little control box there in the middle as well, the base of the actual gyrosphere. So saving that now, and now I'm going to transfer that back over into the map. I've got a perfect spot for it right in front of the station of the coaster. I'm going to place that down there. That looks really, really cool. And then I'm just going to use again the burial mound and just add some like dirt and stuff along the floor there. But that's basically the map absolutely finished. Like I've done it, completed. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to leave you now with the screenshots. And basically this is my map for September 2021 of the dueling powered coasters, and this is my Jurassic World dark ride called Jurassic World Breakout. If you've enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time here on my channel with something new. Bye!